Hey everybody, this is Grace, and I'm on my way to the huge Dollar Tree store here in Texas. It's the biggest one in Texas. Note, in Texas. Anyway, another one of those things that somebody had commented about that I stress in Texas, because they said, well, you know, they're bigger ones. That same as, you know, people, I'm saying it's really hot in Texas, you know, whatever it is, and they say, well, you know, it's hotter somewhere else. Well, guess what? I'm not living somewhere else. That covers both of them. Sometimes you have people who say things like that, and you just wonder about them. Really, what were they like in school, you know, grade school? You know, were they the teacher's snitch? Tattletale? Were they the ones that thought they were superior when they weren't? Okay, because think about it. And they don't think past, you know, as adults, they don't think past, you know, just the simple thing. Well, they're hot, it's hotter over there and so. Hello. And I know it's hotter. Who doesn't know it's hotter over there, or, you know, they gotta make sure you know they're superior. I'm in a mood, I'm telling you. You know, this was just no, this part wasn't reopened yesterday. The other part down there was reopened yesterday. But anyway, we don't know what they're doing over there on that side. It looks like they're just fixing the bridge. What was wrong with it? It's kind of scary when you think there was something wrong with the bridge, that they have to go through this. Yeah. Anyway, and all of it's now on this side. Oh, you know, okay, you're actually going to try to speed through here, right? And try to get me to go faster. Nope, not happening. You don't pay. I don't do that for anybody. I'm not going to do it. And hey, you wouldn't be paying my speeding ticket, but no, I wouldn't do that for anybody. You know, if there was some emergency, yeah, that somebody would be somebody in emergency, not you just wanting to get there a second faster. Now they're trying to go around me. I'm just going to go slow. Every day when I usually start off a video, because it's usually right as I leave my home. Sometimes it's in the neighborhood. Somebody's going to tailgate. This is a thing. I know it happens elsewhere. Here's another one. People made comments about videos. I've been making videos 10 years. It was 10 years in August on my original channel. There was another thing, you know, people would make comments on, say, well, you know, that happens everywhere. Really, just think about these people who do this. Really. Everywhere. It happens everywhere. Are you sure it happens everywhere? Are you really sure about that? Let me go that route with you. I am in a mood, let me tell you. Oh my goodness. And when you're around a lot of people who, and I am, unfortunately, I mean, I have gone no contact with most of them. Sometimes you just can't, you know, it's beyond your control, unless you want to screw up your whole life, or, you know, because of them. No thank you. You can't turn there. Oops, I'm sounding like them. But anyway, you're the people who are going to correct you when you're not wrong. Okay, there's a difference. When you're not wrong, you know, you are right. You are right in what you're doing, what you're saying, how you feel about it, whatever. You're right. But they're going to correct you out of some sense of superiority. You know, they say, you know, I was a career student. My degrees are in psychology and sociology. And something that was very common to hear is that people who, you know, have this superiority complex, they're basically masking their own sense of inferiority. And it could be that they feel that way because I don't agree with this part, because they are actually inferior, but in whatever that is. Let's get that straight. You know, how many people are inferior in every way? I don't think anybody is inferior in every way. what the heck is what? Oh my gosh. Wow. I don't know if you could see that. Could you see that? What happened? Wow. Okay, the driver of a school bus went through a yellow. It was red by the time they got through it. Oh, am I going to be a snitch? Am I going to tell, hey, if they had kids in it and there was a wreck, of course I would. Of course. If something happened to kids, you bet I would. You have to speak up. By law. It is the law. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, but I don't know what it is where you live, but the last I heard in Texas, if you see something happen to a kid, you have to report it. Why am I hearing a phone? Did you hear that phone? I'm hearing a phone ring inside my SUV. And I'm using my phone to make this video, and I don't have another phone. That was weird. Now, don't tell me somebody's in the back of my SUV with a phone. It's Halloween month, you know, after all. So why is my blinker still on? See, that's my fault. I was wrong. That police officer said, why do you have your blinker on? Anybody could say it because they would be right. I had my blinker on. And I wasn't even in the turning lane. Yeah. But anyway, why am I on this kick today? Because, I don't know. You know, none of us are perfect. There's people do strange things that just blow your mind. I'm trying to teach myself, you know, bring it back up in my mind. Not teach myself, I mean, I've already known this kind of stuff, but just to put it in the forefront of my mind. You know, that we all make mistakes. But sometimes it's too many that they're making the same thing of. And this is where I'm trying to, for myself, just put to the forefront of my mind, like I said. You know, because sometimes some things are just so weird. That's the truth. Sometimes I've been dealing with a lot of weird. But another thing was I wanted to talk about was gaslighting. Okay, you guys just missed it, you guys and gals. No, seriously, I was sitting there and in the turn lane from the other direction, you know, some people were going to be turning, you know, going the opposite direction on my side, you know, where I was, the direction I was going. So they were going east. I was going west. And they were coming from the north. Yeah, from the north. That makes more sense. That would make more sense to me, but not everybody. Anyway, so they were turning, and there was an ambulance coming from the west. They're going east, the way they were going to go east. And the ambulance had the sounds and the lights and the everything. You know, most people were stopping. Not these two. They wanted to get turned. They wanted to get going east. And I actually was quite surprised. The ambulance driver was ticked off and just almost hit the second one. It was just taking their time, you know, turning. Almost hit him, and the look on that ambulance driver's face was, oh my, told the whole story of how he was thinking about that person. But no, that's wrong. This is an ambulance. You want them to wait for you to turn, even that split second. It could be the difference in somebody's life. Okay, I'm maybe exaggerating, and I'm not an expert in that field, but seriously, you think you're more important than the ambulance? This is what's the problem in the world today. But really, I'm sounding like, you know, like everybody said, you know, not everybody, but some people say, I'm sounding like my mother, or I'm sounding like my father, you know, that generation. Well, one thing I learned is you always do as you get older. Yeah, because some of these things they were saying, they were 100% correct. And the problem with the world today is when people simply think all about themselves and or money, which is, you know, in a way, thinking about themselves. The whole greed and also the jealousy, stuff that I haven't really talked about in a while, but in a way. Anyway, what I was saying was I wanted to talk about what was on my mind earlier today, which was gaslighting. And that movie, Gaslight. I think one was called Gaslighting and the other one was called Gaslight. Not sure. But when I was a teenager, I think I was maybe 15 years old. Now, I grew up near the Gulf Coast of Texas, in Texas, near Houston area, but where I was at the time, you know, that whole area of Texas, where I was, me and my dad were coming from, we were going to go to Galveston. Well, we went to Galveston. In order to get to Galveston Island, we had to take a ferry. I don't know how it is today. I would think it's the same. I don't know. Do you remember at some point they built something coming from Houston? I've been on it, I think. I drove on it. I remember. Anyway, I was 15. I was the only one of. I have 4 siblings. So my dad had 5 kids. My parents. We all lived in the same house. But for some reason, I was the only one going with him to Galveston. I think it was because my mother, his wife, my mother, was in the hospital there in Galveston. I think it was a county hospital or something, and they had different kinds of specialties. And where we lived, we didn't like the hospitals there. And they had 2 or 3. But no, people would go to that county hospital usually to get better health, I guess, you know, whatever. Anyway, so I was with him, and I remember staying the night there with her, and I'm gonna leave out all the details, but I was the one that would stay the night with her. I was the one that was always there for other people. Anyway, so as we were driving, this is a memory. I'm 61, so I'm talking about when I was 15. The memory, you know. But there, from what I remember, we used to go to Galveston often, somewhat often. And I just remember these, not just 2, but several. They're just long roads you drive on for a while. At least it seemed like when I was young, of course. And then there was, I remember something called Rollover Pass, and it made a lot of noise. The grill on the road, brum, 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 brum. You know? We used to go fishing there, and I remember seeing what I thought, I was like, what is that? You know, asking my dad. He says, get away from it. It was in the river. It was what do they call them? I was supposed to turn there, wasn't I? I'm turning around. I don't think that's it. Yeah, it is. Talking to myself. But it was, what do they call them? Man o' war? It was the ugliest thing I'd ever seen in my life. In the, I don't really know what you call that. Like I said, what would you call that right there? It was in between all this stuff. Anyway, it was in the water. Okay, we were fishing off of Rollover Pass. Anyway, but okay, let's get back to this part. While we were driving, we had to go past that part, and then we go somewhere, I don't know the details, and then get on the ferry. And as we were driving through that part, my dad said, you know this house right over here? And I said, okay. I mean, I think I'd seen it, I don't know how many times, you know. And he said that was on a movie called Gaslight. I don't know if it's Gaslight or Gaslighting, like I said. And for some reason, I didn't believe him. You know, I was never really suspicious of my dad before then. You know, it's my dad, okay? I'm not suspicious. And, you know, young, you might think that way, although I should have been suspicious. Anyway, he was trying to make a point, you know, to tell me about this, and I was like, okay. You know, it was in a movie, all right. No biggie to me, okay. So, yeah. Wow, they got more barnuminiums over here. Barnuminiums. Yeah. There used to be a mall. And they basically, I don't know if I can go in there or not. Yeah, I better But, let's see, can you see? Watch for the Barnuminiums. But, anyway, so my dad was saying that that's where the movie was filmed and so on and so forth. Okay, yeah, that was sad. I think you may have seen it. That elderly man, he just stopped at some point, just stopped. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't know what's happened here. It looks like they've changed it, or maybe I went in a different one, because I came in a different way. Anyway, I'm going to put this up like this. There's a lot of kids, and I don't put kids in my videos. I try really hard not to. Sometimes I'm, not perfect. I'm never perfect. So anyway, what was I talking about? That was just so sad. Oof. And he just stopped for a while. I made sure I saw him move, again, stopped to see if he was going to move again. But, yep, some kids, like I said. And where am I going to park? There's a lot of people here today. Let me see. My goodness. My goodness. But anyway, my dad was telling me about that was in a movie back in the 1940s. There were two I found out. One was from, I think it was a British movie. And the other one, that was in 1940, and the other, I think that one was Gaslight. I don't know which one was which. But, I'm going to try to get in this spot. This person may be moving. As long as you don't hit me, I will be happy. Come on, let's go. I'm doing a strange way, woman. Because she's trying to, hopefully, she doesn't think she's going to back up this way and go the other way. You can't see it, but I think she does. I think she actually thinks she has to back up this way to go the other. Okay. See, now not. Yikes. That was my bad in a way, and her bad in another way. Anyway, you get to hear me talk. Whoop. Okay, you're not going to let me. Now, somebody else is going to do it to me. That's how life goes. But it is a weird spot here. That is for certain. Oh, I got to go over the thing in order. I'm serious, this is the weirdest spot I've ever seen to park. And I go park in it, right? Anyway, so you got to see all that, or hear all that. But, as far as the gaslighting thing, maybe I'll just make another video. But really, at the time, I did not know. He was stressing this, telling me about gaslighting. At one point I remember thinking, maybe he was bragging about it being this close to home. I don't know. But something told me that was going to be important to me. And it was, the memory just stayed so long. And it was very important to me. Because the amount of people I've seen do this and the ways that they do it, it's not always involving me. Hearing about somebody it happened to them, or seeing it happen to others, this kind of thing. And some people actually just simply think that it's fun. They don't realize they don't think, when you tell them, well, you know what you're doing to the other person, they're like, no, it's just funny. It's a game. It's, tricking somebody, just having fun tricking them. Oh, you think. And then maybe for some people they say, yeah, because their intention was not to psychologically damage somebody, No. To them, they just haven't learned that you don't do that. But how many of us do something, along the line on April Fool's Day? I know I do. In my family, the only day that we could really, what I used to take it down to was lie, was April Fool's Day. And Adam says to this day, you always get me. You always get me. I don't let him think it for long, but I don't do You know, I don't do gaslighting type. But some will, and they think it's fun. So where does it really stand? You know, if their intention is to do it, to do harm, or it's just funny, and they're naive or not, they just think it's funny. What do you think? Leave a comment. Talk to you on another video. Bye.